Hey guys, I'm Fidel1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about Runi, and I want to talk about specifically how this could be something that grows and something that's expanded upon. Is it just one card right now? Yeah, it's just one card. You're going to get a random generated art piece, NFT, that's yours to play with and use within your social networks as your profile avatar and so on and so forth. But we know from Splinterlands that they always look for additional utility for the assets that they're selling, whether it's, airdrop points, or whether it's, access, you can only access a certain purchase through a certain currency, meaning you need to acquire that, like vouchers or DEC or SPS. These assets that they've given us, or that they've sold us, or that we've acquired through our time and attention, have always grown in their utility. And I think that's going to continue to be a target for this game. And so it's conceivable that Runi will be part of that picture too. And I thought it was worth discussing. And it came from a question off of Twitter, actually. And so I want to share the question, and then I want to just expand on my thoughts around this issue. And just speculate on what could come of Runi like in the future as the game grows. Let's read the comment first. So I dropped a tweet earlier. I said, anyone have any questions you want me to answer on the channel? And I just thought this, I've never done this before with Twitter. Over 1,000 followers on Twitter. So thank you guys. If you follow me there, appreciate it. If you don't follow me and you're on Twitter, check me out, Time and Attention. And I, it's pretty well always Splinterlands, unless it's like a funny meme that Elon Musk is sending out that I've got to share. But yeah, so Meta Furico dropped a comment. He said, do you think something like airdrops for Runi holders in the future is a possibility? Maybe airdropping a card, or any other thing that we can't imagine right now. And I think it's really, so I took some time and I thought about it before I fired up the video here, and of course it's total speculation. But I mean, like I said, we can look at what they've done with DEC, what they've done with vouchers, what they've done with land plots, the SPS airdrop for a full year, giving us assets for having owned other assets. They're trying to do the same thing with the land plots. You're going to hold them and you're going to get SPS just for holding them right now or fairly soon. They also were looking at doing the same thing for the power defense packs. And so I just think, and they've talked about, you've heard speculation from other YouTubers about even titles. They've talked about how card utility will grow in other games. You can stake your cards either on land plots to farm those lands, or in the tower defense game. So it's like time after time after time, we see evidence that the game developers are intending to and aiming at a future where all of the assets we own in this game have some sort of broader utility than just the one collectible card game we call Splinterlands. Even Brawls is like a new division of use, and land will be a new division of use, and tower defense a different type of utilization. And so it's totally conceivable. In fact, I think likely that cards such as that are unique and special, like Runi, this new NFT that's randomly generated at the point of purchase, reflecting kind of your avatar, used for that purpose if you're inclined, it's unique, is on the Ethereum blockchain. It makes a ton of sense that if other assets in this game and in this ecosystem of economy have been kind of cross-developed to create multiple different use cases, I feel very strongly that these Runi randomized kind of art pieces that are going to be yours, uniquely yours, and playable within the Splinterlands ecosystem will share that opportunity for a growth of utility. I mean, at minimum, we're going to see that the Runi can be used in the rank battles, in the tournaments, in the brawls, in the land farming. That's 4 different use cases, and I think a lot of you guys think of those as the same, whether it's brawls, rank battles, or tournaments. You think of those as kind of one game, and I don't at all. First of all, they have different reward pools, right? Rank battles have one reward pool, whether it's modern or wild. They're 2 different reward pools. Then you look at tournaments, that's a different reward pool altogether. Sometimes it pays SPS, sometimes it pays DEC, sometimes it pays some sort of third-party token, or even you can get cards out of those tournaments occasionally. And so those are three. And then of course, land is going to be this totally separate thing, this mini game within the game where you're going to farm the land, manage resources, upgrade buildings. That is a entirely new game. It's not just quote unquote Splinterlands. It's like, it's the broadening of the gaming experience that we currently understand to be Splinterlands. And so for sure, I feel so confident that not only will Runi, but every asset this game makes the developers will aim at and intend to create more utility. But let's just try and speculate now for a few minutes about what that could look like specifically for this. We know those 4 examples exist: rank battle, brawls, tournaments, and farming on the land. Plus tower defense is going to have some sort of staking component. That's a 5th. Those are the ones we know about. But I think it's quite likely that we probably do see something like a airdrop associated with these special tokens. And this is probably one of the most, I don't know how to, I can't possibly define what that would look like. As the question says, like, what would we even imagine? But I feel some sort of airdrop makes a ton of sense because they've already established that that's what they like to do with as a reward to their holders. Looking at the SPS airdrop and how that was distributed amongst players on the basis in part of ownership of assets within the game. And so Runi will be on your account. Technically it'll be on the Splinterlands account and delegated to you because of how the Runi is kind of on the Ethereum blockchain. It's just a bit different. But that marker on your account is trackable, and Splinterlands knows you have this one and not a different one. And I think as a result of that, they're definitely going to be capable of tracking you, the owner of this particular Runi. And I think absolutely they're going to be able to do different things like drop airdrops that are specific to Runi. And that might be maybe partnerships or expansions. Like, you could imagine entirely new partnerships that are actually on the Ethereum blockchain, especially now that we're moving into like a proof of stake system on Ethereum. And maybe there becomes a game such as Splinterlands or an expansion of what Splinterlands is now, an entirely new kind of iteration of an expansion of what our game is, and reaching into that realm. And the Runi becomes this pivotal component of that new launch. And it could be maybe early access into that system. It absolutely could be title drops, airdrop to those who have it. Like we've seen with land plots or with, buy so many packs of Chaos Legion, you get a title. And absolutely Runi could be part of that too. Titles probably one day will have a bigger use case. Again, this is total and rampant speculation. I have no idea what they'll actually do, but I think so clearly that they will add intended uses and value for holding these because, and let's finish here. Why will they do this? One, they've already shown this pattern of attempting to reinforce ownership through retroactive rewards for long held assets. That's the first thing. They've already done this. This is what they do. And I gave you many examples of that already. But why would they continue to do it? I mean, one, it's a proven formula and it continues to attract new investments, but it also incentivizes old investors to stick around. That's a huge part of this. So I definitely think that is the question is aiming at or asking a question that just makes perfect sense for the team to do something like this. But specifically around this asset, I see a unique need for this sort of airdrop or sort of double utility that would come out of something like a new game or an expansion of the game or some sort of special title or whatnot. I see something unique for this card launch because this card launch is 100% in both art style as well as the Ethereum connection. Totally unique, right? Each card is visually distinct. That's really, really cool. But this is also the first partnership of this type where we're reaching into a new economy, into the Ethereum blockchain, hopefully attracting a whole new audience. And the degree to which we've already seen that it was a rampant success. The whitelist sales sold out within I think it was 2 minutes, something like that. really crazy number of sales. 2,000, right? Was it 2,000? I think it was 2,000 sold of just the whitelist names. And that was a locking in of, massive amounts of vouchers. So that was a big financial commitment in and of itself. And now we know that there's going to be a second portion to that when the date runs down in 20 more days, almost 21 more days. We're going to see on October 25th that you're going to actually be able to go in and mint your Runi using Ethereum. And that is going to mean that this is this huge opportunity of this new economy being unlocked, that this new audience of NFT investors might be awakened to what Splinterlands is and the possibility of investing in it. And so I think it would make a lot of sense, since Splinterlands has already showed themselves to be interested in and dedicated to building out the value proposition for owning all of their assets, even retroactively creating new benefits to holding old assets. Think of alpha and betas and how they get increasing amount of focus points. The older they get 10%, they get 5%. It grows and grows and grows because they want those old cards, which are super rare, to be more and more beneficial. That's going to impact land farming. It's going to impact, it impacts which tournaments and brawls you can participate in. So they've always showed this trend, and I think they're going to continue to do so, but within the Runi realm specifically, because it represents an opportunity to attract a new audience of investors, which is even a bigger audience of investors. And so you really want to put your best foot forward. And so I think the Runi is definitely an example of how they're going to continue this expansion of creating new utility after the fact. I think you're really sleeping on Splinterlands if you believe that anything they ever created, whether even we talked about months ago that skins in the game, we talked about how these are super rare and they added airdrop points at one point, but we talked about, would they have any other utility? We talked about there are NFTs that you can buy within Splinterlands that are not in-game purposes. You get titles for attending things like Splinterfest or for buying certain amount of packs. These things are always bigger than what you think. Like, they look like one way when they launch, and then their development and use case is added to, because it makes financial business sense for them to do so, for them to continue to build out that utility. And so I just have full confidence that they will do that with Runi as well. And if they do, I suspect it to happen kind of soonish after the launch, because and it'll be this evolution. It won't just be one. On October 25th, they're going to do one thing and then you'll never hear again. I suspect it'll be the sort of thing, if the Runi project is a huge success, and that's one of the metrics that's one of the question marks around all that I'm saying here. If they actually go sold out, if they get minted rapidly, if there's a broader community interest outside of Splinterlands, but in the Ethereum ecosystem, I think you start to see more of these projects, and then you start to see expansions of what those projects are capable of how they're capable of being used. That's my expectation, depending on the success of this sale. Not the whitelist sale, which was a wild success, but the actual day where they get minted. If that's a huge success, and if OpenSea just gets a crazy amount of volume, we start to see Ethereum-based investors coming in hard, that would imply to me a deep need and opportunity, and that would provoke the Splinterlands existing interest, the developers' existing interest and eagerness to pour in new utility, because they want to capitalize on the excitement. And I would expect they've already said in various town halls that the Runi is not likely going to be the only iteration of this sort of randomly generated art. And so I think as long as this one goes well, to the questioner, to Metafurica, the question is really not, are they going to add future airdrops or future utility for those who hold Runi? The issue is really, is Runi going to be a wild success at the point of launch when they're mintable? Are they going to sell out rapidly? If they do, it's almost a guarantee in my mind that they will add more and more utility, because they want to continue to capitalize on that excitement. And you'll see more and more of these projects, which then might translate into a totally new expansion of the game into that other system. Like, why couldn't we have some sort of iteration of Splinterlands on the Ethereum blockchain, especially if we move to a full, like, it's proof of stake, or as I understand anyways. So those are my thoughts, but I'm totally speculating. Guys, what do you think? Would you anticipate anything from the Runi from an airdrop perspective? And do you think that, for that matter, do you think that that the whitelist sale was kind of exciting and sold out rapidly, but we won't maybe see that energy and exuberance when we actually go to the minting, because that's a different, we need hundreds of dollars of Ethereum, and maybe that's enough. Maybe there just isn't that appetite. I don't know. I can't wait to find out. I'm excited to see what happens. I know I'm minting mine, but guys, like to hear what you have to say about that. Have an amazing day, and thanks for the question. I'm going to send a little thank you. Thanks to Metafurica, and thank you guys for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.